The sun was setting over the dusty colony. Red clouds stretched across the sky. Marcus, a middle-aged human man, stood near his supply cart outside the edge of Zone 12. He wiped sweat from his forehead and reached for his ration bag. Gone. His hand searched again. Empty. He looked around quickly. The street was quiet. The workers had already returned to their homes, but then just for a second he caught movement, small and fast, slipping into a gap between two old metal walls. Marcus narrowed his eyes. He stepped closer to the wall, crouched and peeked inside. A small figure ran down a narrow alley behind the scrap buildings. Thin legs, bare feet, no shoes. It was a child, not human. "Hey!" Marcus called out. "Stop!" The child didn't stop. He ran faster. Marcus sighed, grabbed his coat and followed. The path was tight and broken. Wires hung from the ceilings. Trash and old machines were everywhere. The deeper Marcus went, the darker it became. Then he saw something. A flash of pale green skin. A long, thin tail disappearing behind a wall. The child was alien, no doubt about it. Marcus was angry. His food was stolen. But something else pulled him forward now, curiosity. That child looked sick, weak. Finally, after a long turn, Marcus saw him. The child was crouched beside an old crate, opening Marcus's ration pack with shaking fingers. But the boy wasn't eating it. He was feeding someone else, a woman. She was lying on the ground, half covered in a ripped blanket. Her face was hollow, her skin dull. Alien, yes, but beautiful in a quiet, tired way. Her eyes were closed, lips dry, chest rising slowly. The child gently placed a small bread piece into her mouth. She didn't wake. The child's voice was soft, cracked. "Mama, eat, please." Marcus stood frozen. His anger faded away. He didn't expect this. The child turned and saw him. His eyes went wide. He looked ready to run again, but his legs gave out and he fell to his knees. Marcus raised his hands slowly. "Hey, easy. I'm not here to hurt you." The child didn't speak. His chest rose and fell fast. He was scared. Marcus looked at the woman again. She looked like she hadn't eaten in days, maybe weeks. He sighed and knelt down. "Is this your mother?" he asked gently. The boy nodded. "What happened to her?" The child tried to speak. Words came out broken. "Crash, ship, gone. Just us. She got sick. No food, no help." Marcus sat down on the ground. He looked at the child again. Those empty eyes. Not angry. Not wild. Just tired. So tired. "What's your name?" Marcus asked. The boy hesitated, then whispered, "Kiru." Marcus nodded. "Okay, Kiru. I'm Marcus." Kiru looked at him, unsure. Marcus reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, sealed bottle of water. He handed it over. The boy looked surprised. His hands trembled as he took it. He didn't drink. He gave it to his mother first. Marcus watched in silence. The woman moved a little. Her eyes opened halfway, blurry and unfocused. She saw Marcus and gasped weakly. "Don't," she whispered. "Don't take him." "I'm not here to take anyone," Marcus said softly. "Just trying to help." Her eyes filled with tears. She closed them again. Kiru laid beside her, wrapping his small arms around her body. He whispered something in their own language. Marcus looked around. The shelter was cold, dirty, and barely holding up. They had nothing. No light. No heat. He stood up slowly. "I'll be back," he said. "Stay here. I'm going to get help." But as he turned to leave, the woman coughed hard. Kiru panicked and grabbed her hand. Marcus stopped. He didn't want to leave them like this. Maybe he didn't have to. He took off his coat and covered her body. He opened his pack and left more food. Soft bread, dried meat, fruit paste. Enough for 2 days, maybe more. Kiru looked at him like he couldn't believe it. Marcus smiled just a little. Take care of her. I'll come back tomorrow. He stepped out of the shelter and looked up at the night sky. Something had changed. This wasn't just about stolen food anymore. This was about a starving child and a dying mother. And maybe, just maybe, it was now about him too. Marcus couldn't sleep that night. He kept thinking about the alien child's empty eyes and the mother lying in the dirt, barely breathing. That image haunted him. So, at sunrise, he packed food, clean water, a small blanket, and an old med kit. He didn't tell anyone where he was going. He returned to the shelter. Inside, the air was cold and dry. The woman was still there, lying in the same position, but now her breathing was shallow and slow. Marcus rushed to her side. Kiru, he called softly. The boy was curled beside her, still awake, his eyes red from crying. He looked up as Marcus entered, surprised, but this time not afraid. Marcus dropped to his knees. Has she eaten? Kiru nodded weakly. Little. Not much. She won't open eyes. Marcus gently placed his hand on her forehead. Her skin was burning. Fever. He opened his old med kit. Let me help, he said quietly. The woman stirred, moaning as Marcus cleaned a wound near her side. It looked infected. He had basic training from his time working as a cargo medic years ago. It wasn't enough, but it was all he had. Hold her still, Marcus said. Kiru held his mother's hand tightly. The woman flinched as Marcus cleaned the wound and applied the healing gel. Then he carefully injected a small dose of antibiotic. Her body trembled. She didn't open her eyes. But her breathing changed. Deeper now. Slower. Good, Marcus whispered. Just rest. He unrolled the blanket and placed it over both of them. Then he handed Kiru warm bread. The child didn't eat right away. She needs it more. I know, Marcus replied, but she would want you strong too. Kiru stared at him, then slowly took a bite. He chewed silently, tears slipping down his face. Later, as the sun climbed higher, the woman made a sound. A whisper. Where are we? Marcus leaned closer. You're safe. Your boy brought me to you. Her eyes fluttered open. This time clearer than before. She looked at Marcus, confused and afraid. You're human? He nodded. Name's Marcus. I found Kiru stealing my food. I followed him here. I wanted to be angry, but then I saw you. She tried to sit up, but fell back. Don't move, he said gently. You're sick, infection. But I gave you medicine. She looked at Kiru. He was sitting beside her, now smiling for the first time. Marcus noticed her hands trembling. He gave her a small water pouch. She sipped slowly. Thank you, she said, her voice rough and dry. I thought no one would come. I thought we would die here. Marcus's face turned serious. What happened? Why are you hiding like this? She hesitated. Then she told him. We crashed. Weeks ago. Our ship was damaged during a jump. We hit this planet's orbit wrong and fell. My mate, he didn't survive, just me and Kiru. We hid in the ruins. We sent out distress calls. No one came. Her eyes grew wet. We're not from a known alliance. No one cares if we vanish. My kind is forgotten. Marcus clenched his jaw. Not to me, he said. She stared at him. You saved us, she whispered. He gave a small shrug. Your boy did. He didn't steal to hurt anyone. He stole because he loves you. Kiru grabbed his mother's hand. What's your name? Marcus asked. The woman looked at him for a long moment. Sorry. That night, Marcus didn't return home. He stayed with them, lighting a small heater stone to keep the shelter warm. He didn't say much, just made sure Sari had food and Kiru slept peacefully. In the darkness, Sari spoke again. You're risking a lot, for people you don't know. Marcus replied without looking up. I've seen people ignore cries for help before. I won't be like them. She was quiet, Then softly she said, "There may be more danger ahead. Others might come. The kind who hunt people like us." Marcus looked at her. "Then they'll have to go through me first." And Sari, for the first time, smiled. The night, in Zone 12, was colder than usual. Inside the broken shelter, the firestone glowed dimly. Its soft heat barely touched the cracked metal walls. Sari slept wrapped in Marcus's old blanket, her breathing still rough but steady. Kiru was curled up beside her. Marcus sat near the entrance, holding an old plasma cutter like a weapon. He wasn't sure why he felt so alert. Maybe it was the way Sari had said, "They might come." Or maybe it was the strange silence in the air. Something felt wrong. He closed his eyes for a moment, just 1 second of rest. Then he heard it, a soft scrape outside. His eyes shot open. He didn't move. He listened again. There it was, another sound, slow, careful. Someone was walking near the shelter, stepping over trash and loose rock. Not a scavenger, not a worker, too quiet. Marcus got up slowly, every muscle tense. He turned to Sari and whispered, "Stay down, don't make a sound." She stirred weakly but nodded. Kiru blinked awake, sensing danger in Marcus's voice. Marcus stepped out of the shelter. Outside, the air was black and still. A thick mist had rolled in from the canyon. Marcus scanned the shadows, his hand tight, on the cutter. He took 1 step forward, then stopped. There was movement near the old crates, a tall figure, slender, not human. Its eyes glowed faint red. Marcus stepped back into the shelter. "We're not alone." Sari's face turned pale. "Trackers," she whispered. "They've found us." "Who are they?" Marcus asked quickly. "Scavenger hunters, mercenaries. They track down crash victims, steal their tech, or sell the survivors." Marcus's eyes darkened. "And you knew they were coming?" "They were chasing us when we crashed. They won't stop until we're gone." Marcus grabbed a few things fast, a glow stick, the heater core, and the medkit. "We're leaving," he said. "But she—" Kiru began. "We don't have a choice," Marcus cut in. "They'll kill her if we stay." Sari tried to sit up but groaned in pain. "I'll carry her," Marcus said. He lifted her gently. She was light, too light. Her body had lost so much strength. Kiru clung to his side as they moved into the cold fog outside. Behind them, the metal shelter creaked again. Another shadow appeared in the mist. They had to run. Marcus didn't know the area well, but he remembered one thing: an abandoned mining shaft just past the boundary wall. If they could make it there, maybe they'd have a chance. They ran. His boots hit the dust hard. Kiru kept up, silent and brave. Sari's breathing was weak in his arms. A sound behind them. Blaster fire. A bolt hit a nearby pipe, sending steam into the air. Kiru screamed. "Don't stop!" Marcus shouted. They reached the boundary wall, a broken section just wide enough to crawl through. Marcus pushed Kiru in first, then passed Sari carefully through. He crawled in last, just as another shot exploded behind him. On the other side, they didn't stop, not even to breathe. The shaft was close now, hidden behind fallen machines and rusted metal arms. Marcus found the entrance, half covered in vines. He kicked it open. Inside was pitch black, but safe. For now. They slipped inside and shut the door. With a loud bang, Kiru turned on the glow stick. Pale green light filled the room. Old mining gear lay everywhere. Broken monitors, hanging wires. One thing caught Marcus's eye. A pod, an old medical stasis pod, still intact. He set Sari down and checked the control panel. The lights were dead. No power. Marcus stared at it, then at his emergency power core, the one he always carried for protection. If he used it here, he'd have nothing left. But Sari had nothing left either. He made a decision. He connected the core to the pod. Lights blinked. The pod hissed open. Marcus picked up Sari again and placed her gently inside. The machine scanned her body. A soft voice spoke. "Life signs. Critical. Beginning repair stasis. Estimated time, 7 hours. The pod closed slowly. Sari's face relaxed as sleep took her over. She was safe. For now. Marcus sat down beside Kiru. They were both shaking. "She'll be okay?" Kiru asked. Marcus nodded. "The pod will help her heal, but we're not safe yet. We stay quiet, stay hidden." Kiru leaned against him. "Why did you come back?" the child asked softly. Marcus looked down at him. "Because no one should be alone when they're scared, especially not a child." Outside the shaft, the wind howled. The hunters were still out there, but inside, hope had started to grow. The air inside the mine shaft was cold and thick. The soft hum of the stasis pod was the only sound. Inside it, Sari lay still, safe, healing, asleep. Her breathing had steadied. Her skin looked a little less pale now. Marcus sat in the dark holding a broken pipe as a weapon. Kiru leaned against his side, barely keeping his eyes open. But Marcus couldn't rest. Something had changed outside. It was too quiet. Then it came. Tap, tap, crunch, footsteps, slow, heavy, careful. Someone was walking above the shaft. Marcus froze. He quickly placed a finger on his lips, signaling Kiru to stay silent. The boy nodded and pulled the blanket tighter around himself. More footsteps, closer now. Tap, crunch, scrape. Not one person, two. Maybe more. Then a sharp voice muffled through the walls. "Scan again, they're close, I smell heat." Marcus felt his blood run cold. These weren't just hunters. They were trained trackers, and they were right on top of them. Marcus whispered, "Stay low, don't move." He picked up a small mirror from the junk and tilted it near a broken vent. Through the crack, he saw them. Two tall figures in black armor, pale gray skin, red lenses over their eyes. One of them held a heat scanner glowing bright. They pointed toward the shaft entrance. Marcus turned to Kiru. "We have to move deeper," he said. "But, Mama?" Kiru whispered. "She's safe in the pod," Marcus replied. "But if they find us, they'll shut it down, or worse." Kiru's hands shook, but he stood up, brave again. They crept toward a tunnel in the back, once used for mining carts. Marcus pushed the cart aside and found an old lift behind it. It was broken, but behind the lift, a crawl space. Perfect. He and Kiru slipped inside, just as a loud, metallic clang echoed through the shaft. The hunters had entered. Kiru held his breath. Marcus covered the boy's mouth gently and watched through the vent. The two hunters walked in, slowly scanning every corner. "Someone powered the pod," one said. "Still warm? Should we destroy it?" "Not yet, the woman might be worth more alive." Marcus's grip tightened on the pipe. He had to stop himself from charging out. The hunters moved closer to the pod. One reached out a hand. Just then, a loud noise burst behind them. The mining cart Marcus had kicked earlier finally fell over. With a crash, the hunters spun around. Marcus saw his chance. He whispered to Kiru, "Stay here. Don't come out until I return." The boy's eyes widened. "No. What if they hurt you?" Marcus gave a small smile. "Then I'll hit them back harder." He moved like a shadow. Quick, quiet. He grabbed an old fuel canister, lit a fire starter, and rolled it across the floor. The moment it touched the hunter's boots, boom! A blast of smoke and sparks filled the shaft. The hunters shouted and stumbled back, confused. Marcus ran, grabbed a metal pole, and swung with full force. One of the hunters dropped. The second turned, firing a shot. It grazed Marcus's arm. He gritted his teeth and tackled the creature hard into the wall. They fought, fist, elbow, blade. No rules, just survival. Marcus slammed the hunter's head into a pipe. Once, twice, then silence. Both hunters lay still. He staggered back, panting, bleeding from his arm. Kiru rushed out. "You're hurt." "I've had worse," Marcus said, forcing a smile. He looked at the stasis pod. It was untouched. Sari was still safe. But now they knew the truth. The hunters had found them. And more would come. They couldn't stay here anymore. Marcus placed a hand on Kiru's shoulder. We need a real place. Somewhere with walls, light, help. Kiru looked scared. Where? Marcus didn't know, but he had to try. For Kiru. For all the innocent ones no one ever came for. Wind howled across the dead zone. It was a vast wasteland of crushed metal, poisoned sand, and rusted ship wreckage. The land stretched for miles, a place forgotten by both human colonists and alien settlers. No one lived here, because nothing could. But Marcus ran through it now, with a trembling alien child by his side, and a weak, recovering mother strapped carefully to his back. The stasis pod had finished healing Sari hours ago. Her wounds had closed, her fever was gone, but her body was still too weak to walk on its own. Marcus carried her, wrapped tight in his coat and a spare blanket. Kiru kept pace beside him, small legs moving fast, breath sharp with fear. Behind them, the hunters' tracker drones had awakened, and they were fast. Almost there, Marcus said through clenched teeth. Where? Kiru asked. Old border outpost. A friend of mine left some supplies there. If we're lucky, a transport signal booster too. Suddenly, a sharp whirring sound hit their ears, drones coming closer. Marcus stopped behind a large broken engine. He placed Sari gently on the ground. Kiru, stay down, he said, raising his plasma cutter like a weapon. From the dust, 3 drones flew into view, black, fast, each one armed with a red-eye scanner and a tiny mounted blaster. One locked. On to Marcus. He didn't wait. Zap! He fired first, hitting it in the eye. The drone spun and crashed into the sand. The others spread wide. Marcus rolled, dodging the second blast. He pulled a knife from his boot and threw it. Dead on target. The second drone exploded in midair. The third turned toward Kiru. No! Marcus shouted. But before the drone could shoot, a rock slammed into it from the side. Kiru had thrown it. The drone turned toward him in rage, just as Marcus leaped forward and tackled it midair, smashing it into the ground with all his strength. Sparks flew. The drone stopped moving. Dust settled. Silence returned. Marcus breathed hard, hands shaking. You okay? He asked Kiru. The boy nodded. Yeah, I hit it. You did. Marcus smiled. Good throw, warrior. Sorry, half-conscious, gave a weak smile. But time was running out. They'll send more, she whispered. We can't stop here. I know, Marcus replied. He lifted her again and kept moving. The outpost was only a mile away now. Each step burned Marcus's legs. His shoulders ached from carrying Sari. But he didn't stop. He couldn't. As they climbed a hill of sharp metal debris, Kiru suddenly shouted, Look! There it was, a small dome structure covered in sand, almost invisible, just as Marcus remembered. They slid down the other side of the hill and rushed inside. The outpost was dusty and dead, but intact. Marcus laid Sari on an old bed, then searched through the shelves. Emergency food packs, a solar battery, and, yes, a signal booster unit. He powered it on. The screen blinked, then lit up. Searching. Signal found. Marcus smiled. He tapped in a message. Emergency rescue needed. 3 survivors. Hostile threat. Active. Coordinates locked. The system beeped. Rescue in 6 hours. He turned to Sari and Kiru. Help is coming. But joy didn't last long. A sharp sound echoed from outside. Metal footsteps. Not drones this time. Real ones. Marcus looked at the camera screen. 2 hunter ships had landed outside the dead zone, and 6 figures were approaching the outpost. We've been found, he said quietly. Sari sat up, forcing her body to move. No, she said. They won't take my son. Marcus nodded. Then we make our stand. He handed Kiru a flashlight and a blaster from the wall locker. You stay behind. That crate. If anyone tries to grab your mom, you shoot, understood? Kiru looked nervous, but nodded. I'm ready. Marcus stepped outside. The wind slapped his face. Dust stung his eyes, but he stood tall, between the hunters and the people he refused to let die. The first enemy came into view. Big, armed, confident. "You have something that belongs to us," the hunter growled. Marcus tightened his grip on the plasma cutter. Funny. I was about to say the same. And without another word, he charged. Marcus charged into the storm of sand and gunmetal. The first hunter raised his blaster. Too slow. Crack. Marcus slammed the plasma cutter into the hunter's helmet. Sparks flew. The armored figure staggered back, stunned. Marcus didn't stop. He ducked low and swung again, hard, shattering the scanner lens. One down, but 5 more moved in. Back inside the outpost, Kiru watched the monitor with wide eyes. His hands clutched the blaster tightly. Sari, still weak but sitting up, stared at the signal booster's timer. Rescue ETA. 5 hours, 41 minutes. They had to survive until then. Outside, Marcus ducked behind a broken satellite dish as plasma shots cut through the wind. "Give us the woman," a hunter shouted. "You don't even know what she is." Marcus peeked from cover. "I know enough. She's someone's mother." Another voice, darker, crueler, answered from the storm. "She's not just a mother. She's a living key." Marcus frowned. "What?" Sari heard the words too. She whispered to herself, "No. They know." Kiru turned to her. "What do they mean, Mama?" Sari swallowed hard. "Long ago, my people created a memory vault, filled with science, maps, and ancient knowledge. It's hidden inside me, passed down through blood. That's why they want me. Not to help us, but to control us." Kiru's hands tightened on the blaster. "You're not just my mom," he said softly. "You're something big." Sari smiled weakly. "I'm always your mom first." Suddenly, the outpost shook. A hunter had reached the outer wall and blasted a hole into the side. Kiru stood up. Sari gasped. "No, stay back." But Kiru had already moved behind a crate, just like Marcus told him. The hunter stepped inside, slow, sure, dangerous. His weapon aimed forward. Then, bang! Kiru fired. The shot hit the hunter's leg, dropping him with a cry of pain. Kiru's hands trembled, but he didn't drop the weapon. "Don't touch my mom," he shouted. Marcus heard the shot. He smiled even as 3 hunters charged him at once. He threw a smoke canister and used the cover to sprint back toward the outpost. He dove through the broken wall, rolled and grabbed an old mining rifle. "Everyone all right?" he shouted. Kiru nodded fast. "I shot one." Marcus gave him a proud look. "Nice aim, soldier." Sari pointed to the back room. "Marcus, the machine." "What machine?" "The vault. It's waking up." Marcus rushed to the back chamber of the outpost. There, behind layers of dust and metal, was a round humming device like a glowing orb set into the floor. It had symbols in Sari's native language. It was scanning the room. Beep, beep, beep. Then a soft voice spoke in ancient alien tongue. Marcus looked back at Sari. "It recognizes you." She nodded slowly. "And you. It's scanning your DNA too." Marcus frowned. "Why me?" "Because you bonded with us," Sari said. "You gave, without expecting anything. The vault reads heart and intent." The machine lit up. Then a soft beam rose from the orb and floated in front of Marcus's face. It formed an image, a map of the stars. Coordinates, hidden worlds, safe havens, ancient tech, and at the center, a glowing dot pulsing with Sari's name. Suddenly the vault's voice changed. It spoke in Marcus's language. "You have protected the Keeper. Now the memory is shared. You are one of us." Marcus stepped back in awe. What does this mean?" Sari's voice was soft. "It means we're no longer alone." Outside, more hunters approached, but the vault's light expanded, forming a shield around the outpost. The hunters' shots hit the shield and bounced off. One growled. They activated the core. Fall back. They retreated, but not far. They would wait. Inside, the machine gave a final message. Full access granted, countdown to auto-launch, 5 hours. Marcus turned to Sari and Kiru. We hold this place. Rescue is coming. They want what's inside you, but now it's inside me too. He stood tall. This time they don't win. The sky turned gold as the rescue ship broke through the clouds. Inside the shielded outpost, Marcus stood with a rifle in one hand and a child's hand in the other. Kiru looked up at him, silent but strong. Beside them, Sari leaned against the wall, still tired, still healing, but her eyes full of something new. Hope. Behind them, the alien vault pulsed gently, its star map slowly fading as the memory transfer finished. The past had been preserved. Now came the future. Outside the barrier, the hunters watched the incoming ship. Their leader snarled. We can't let them leave with the vault, or with her. A second growled. The boy carries the bloodline. Take him. They moved fast, but the shield around the outpost responded faster. Boom! An energy shock wave threw the hunters back, knocking weapons from their hands. The machine had chosen its protectors, and it would not let them fall. The rescue ship touched down. 3 armored. Humans stepped out, rescuers sent from a neutral outpost station. They carried advanced rifles and scanned the area with drones. Marcus, one of them called. Your signal was received. You're safe now. He nodded and pointed toward Sari and Kiru. They're the reason I sent it. The woman's eyes widened as she scanned Sari's life signs. She's not from any registered species. Her system's old, nearly extinct. She's more than that, Marcus replied. She carries knowledge we don't deserve but need to protect. Kiru stepped forward. We want to go with him. One of the rescuers looked confused. Go where? The boy didn't answer. He just grabbed Marcus's hand tighter. Later, after the sun had set, the transport took off. Inside, Sari rested on a padded seat, watching the stars through the window. Her body trembled less now. Her heart felt full. Kiru sat beside her, but his head leaned against Marcus's arm. Can we stay with you? He asked quietly. Marcus looked at him. You want that? The boy nodded. Sari turned to Marcus, tears in her eyes. I have no home left, she said softly. But if you'd allow it, we could build one, together. Marcus didn't answer right away. Instead, he smiled. Only if I'm allowed to call you family. Kiru laughed, and for the first time, it was a child's laugh. Happy. Real. Weeks passed. Marcus returned to the colony. Not alone, but with 2 new lives in his care. He built a small home near the edge of town. Simple, warm, safe. Sari helped grow strange alien plants in the garden. Kiru joined a local school, where he told wild stories no one believed but everyone loved. And Marcus? He stopped walking alone. One afternoon, as he sat repairing an old engine, a worker passed by and looked at the 2 playing outside. That your boy? He asked. Marcus looked up. Kiru was chasing a robot with a stick, laughing wildly. The worker nodded. Didn't know you had a family. Marcus smiled. I didn't. He looked toward the door where Sari leaned, watching them both. But they found me anyway. That night after dinner, Kiru tugged on his sleeve. Can I call you something? The boy asked. Sure, Marcus said. The boy hesitated, then whispered the word. Father. Marcus felt his throat tighten. He reached out and pulled the boy into a hug. You can call me that any time. Sari wiped her eyes quietly in the corner. From the stars they came, with nothing. Through fire and fear they survived. And in the arms of a man who chose kindness over comfort, they found not just safety, but something far greater. A family.